Hey y'all, and welcome to Stivers Homestead. Today is a good video if it comes to you wanting to know about herbs. The number one thing people reach out and message us about is what herb is good for this, what herb is good for that. And so we thought it would be a great idea to go over the stuff that we deal with, the herbs that we deal with, because you gotta remember, there's so many different types of herbs. We try to deal with things that are grown in our area, things that are accustomed to southeastern Kentucky. But if you're in a different area, you might have a different herb that can do the same thing, but it's more local to your area. So we are going to be talking about these. Now, the herbs that we have are pretty widespread. This is stuff that should be known in most all the world. However, we break it down into sections. And you and I are going to go through each one of those, but it's examples like healthy heart, anxiety, stress, immune, cold and flu, digestion. Those are the kind of things that Jen and I have broken this stuff down to, and now I'm going to try to explain that out to you all. Before we dive into this though, I really do want to make this very, very clear. Yes, Jen and I run a small business where we sell a lot of our herbs. However, the verdict of this video and the verdict of all of our videos are to try to help empower you to take some of this information and go run with it. Go learn more about natural medicine and herbal medicine and trying to get away from the over-the-counter drugs and prescription drugs. We created and offer the products for you to start to see if this is something that you want to get into, if it does seem to help you. So if you want to purchase from our store, you absolutely can. But understand the knowledge that we're trying to give you is for you to run off and go do this yourself. We want to see everybody move into herbal medicine. And the best way to do that is knowledge, because knowledge is power. So let's dive into this. We are going to start off with the category of anxiety, stress, depression. So the few products that I'm about to show you and the herbs are something that you can grow in your own house, and it's very easy to do so. Now, we do this in two different ways. The first one is we have our Peaceful Nights Herbal Tea. This is going to be a blend of the tinctures that you're going to see. So it's going to have different stuff like lavender or valerian or lemon balm that are all infused together into an herbal tea that you can take if that's the style that you want to go to. Now, the four tinctures that we do, and the reason we do tinctures is because it is our belief that is the best and the most potent way to get the medicinal properties out of each herb is by doing it as a tincture. So the first one we have is a very known one, very common one, and that's lavender tincture. So lavender tincture you can actually do a couple different ways. This is one that works multiple ways that you can do it. You can actually add this topical, and what I mean by that is you can put a couple drops on your wrist and a couple drops behind your ears right there in that pressure point. You can just do it that route to try to see if that is the way to help you, because I know some people are a little iffy about consuming. Totally understand. Lavender tincture does allow you to do it topical. Now, you can take it directly under the tongue as well if you would like, and that's going to get it into your system a little bit faster and help with that relaxing sensation. So we love lavender, but lavender is specifically about just a calming agent. It's supposed to help you calm. So we wanted to take it a little step further and be like, okay, what about focus? What can we do to help our mind focus? And that's where valerian root tincture comes down. By the way, I hope you have a little notepad and you're taking notes. So we've done lavender and now we're on valerian root tincture. So valerian root tincture is very good if you struggle with ADHD. If you just have an issue struggling with keeping your mind focused in general, if you think there's a lot of tasks and it's hard to get started, valerian is definitely going to help you get focused and make sure that you're accomplishing those tasks. We also decided, you know what, let's make a super tincture. Let's add lavender and valerian together to make our tincture that we call chill out tincture. So it's just that, it's those two combined. Now it is a smaller amount of each because we combined them in there. So if you're looking specifically for lavender or specifically for valerian, that's why we made the individual tinctures. But the chill out tincture itself is so fantastic because it does give you the benefits of both lavender and valerian. We also then have lemon balm tincture. So lavender helps you calm down, valerian keeps you focused, and now lemon balm is actually strictly for anxiety, stress, depression. These are things that lemon balm specifically help out. Now, a side note of something that lemon balm really does help out with is if you have cold sores or if you're just prone to get them, you can actually apply a little lemon balm straight to a Q-tip, put it on your cold sore that's coming in, and I promise you, this is better than any Abreva or anything like that, that expensive stuff that's out there that has all kinds of chemicals in it. Lemon balm will knock that out even faster and naturally compared to what you could buy over the counter. So that wraps up the stress, anxiety, ADHD, calming category. I want to move now into the allergy and sinus category because that is something that we're all facing. Now, I know a lot of people and we've seen this in the past. Elderberry gets thrown around a lot, and elderberry is fantastic, and we're going to talk about it here in a second. But elderberry doesn't technically fight respiratory. It's good for an immune boosting, and it's good for the cold and flu. However, it's not really there for when it comes to allergy and sinus. So Jen and I really did some research and worked ourselves down to 2 specific herbs that are going to be fantastic for respiratory. So that's going to be marshmallow root and mullein leaf. So these 2 together are your biggest battle and your biggest competitor when it comes to allergy and sinus. They're going to make sure that they take everything down. Marshmallow and mullein are also very easy to grow. Mullein, especially if you're in the Kentucky area, mullein grows wild. It is absolutely everywhere. One thing that about mullein is it's like a, what do they call that? A biperennial. So it's like every other year it comes back. So you kind of have that to worry about. But if you're trying to plant it, you can plant it, you know, each year plant it. So you'll be on different cycles. But mullein is also nature's toilet paper. So that's pretty cool little side fact as well. Something that's always good to have around. Now we do have both of those separate in our tincture, but we also did make a super tincture of allergy and sinus tincture, and that is strictly just marshmallow and mullein put together, infused together, making one tincture instead of necessarily having to get 2. All right, so that is our allergy and sinus category. Now let's go ahead and move into it since I already brought it up. Let's talk about immune support and cold and flu support. So I want to start with, because we do have 2 teas for this one. We have the immune support herbal tea, which is going to be infused with a lot of different stuff. It's got chamomile, peppermint, lemongrass, sage, lavender, all kinds of different stuff that's going to help build that immune support up. And then we also have an elderberry shield tea too. So if you've never had elderberry, it's really hard to explain what elderberry tastes like. I'm probably gonna like butcher what I think it tastes like, but it's kind of like an earthy, grapey cocoa flavor, maybe. If you've had elderberry, let me know down below how you would describe it. But it actually is a pretty good taste, and it's becoming really popular amongst everything. It seems like elderberry is going in about everything to drink. So if you prefer the tea wise, this is definitely an easy way to go. I will say everything I'm showing you, we don't have teas for all of them. However, you could do, for example, a mullein leaf tea for allergy and sinus too. It does not have to be in tincture form. You can do these in herbs. We just try to pick the ones that taste pretty good and then put them into an herbal tea, because that's just a nice option to have on top of just taking the tinctures. So when it does come to the tinctures in our immune support, we have 2 of them. So we have elderberry tincture. Like I said, it's great for cold and flu, and it's great for immune support. And we have echinacea tincture. But it's actually, the best thing about echinacea is it fights while you have it. So elderberry is more the preventative. Echinacea is saying, okay, I have the cold and flu, I have infection, I have stuff like that. Echinacea is actually going to help fight that while you have it. So that's why we put these 2 together. This is your preventer, elderberry. This is your attacker when you do get sick, echinacea. How we doing? Keeping up? If you need to pause, take a minute, go down in the comments, ask a question. You know, we can do that. You can go down there and we'll try to answer your question for you, so then you can go back, because you don't want to lose these things. You don't want to lose this information that you have. I want to now move into, let's go heart health, body health, into that category. We get a lot of questions about like what's good for high cholesterol, what's good for high blood pressure, what's good for diabetes. And that's kind of what this category is. So we're going to start with raspberry leaf, and this one specifically is going to go for healthy heart. So this is just going to keep your heart healthy. This one also does have a side note to help with digestion. It does help with upset stomach. And raspberry leaf is really good if, say, you get a sunburn, you would apply it topical. So if you get a sunburn on your body, you can actually apply some of this raspberry leaf tincture, and that'll help pull that heat out of you. So next on the list is astragalus root tincture, and now this one's going to be a really good one for diabetes, and it's going to be really good for high blood pressure. So this is going to be the one that you want for there. It does also have some immune support and cold fighting categories in it, so it doesn't meet a lot. However, we really like the focus that it has in the high blood pressure area. So that is astragalus root tincture. So the next one in this list, or this category, is the dandelion root tincture. And I know everybody in their yard right now, we all got dandelions everywhere. So don't tell me you can't grow that, because dandelions are everywhere. Before we jump into this one, that is something that I always hear a lot when I see some of these videos and stuff. People will be like, don't get the stuff that's in your yard, because you don't know what dog peed on it or whatever it might be, or whatever's flew on it. I don't really like that statement a whole lot because I think that takes away from foraging, and foraging is where you're going to find a lot of these herbs. You're going to find it in your woods, you're going to find it in your yard, and with any herb, even if I grew it in the garden, I'm still not sure what may have used the restroom on it or what may have happened in a controlled environment like my garden. So with anything, like you would if you were growing veggies, you're washing these. You're cleaning the herbs before you start ingesting them, or if you put them in a tincture, which like all these have to be dried first before we put them into our, start brewing them as a tincture. So just make sure that you're not saying I can't pick what's in my yard, because you absolutely can. So that's just an FYI from my standpoint on growing it your own and foraging. We do both. So dandelion root tincture is going to be good for UTI, water retention, and high cholesterol. So we got the high blood pressure, now we got the high cholesterol, and that is the dandelion, wow, I'm really struggling to say dandelion root tincture. The next category, I don't really know how to explain this one, but it's like detoxification, the super big dogs that really cover a lot of those really scary name diagnosis stuff. That can help do some preventing from that and help you go from there. So starting off with, it is burdock root tincture. This thing is amazing. It is detoxification of the blood. That is the purpose of this burdock tincture. But what that does is it cleans out so much from us, so much bacteria, so much infection, and helps prevent things coming to us. All kinds of big stuff. Burdock root tincture is actually the reason that we had to go away from Etsy way back in the day, because it can help. It does have studies that say it can help prevent cancer. And I tried to say that low just so YouTube didn't hear anything, but it does. I mean, you look it up. Look up burdock root tincture. Look up the benefits that it has from it. It is the super tincture and probably one of the baddest boys that we got in the docket. So burdock root is one that if you want to grow it, I absolutely would, just because of everything it can do for you. Another super tincture that this one came after burdock when it comes to what we put in our stock, because mushrooms are something that we are getting more and more involved with. So we've done all of our herbs and we know how good mushrooms are when it comes to the medicinal herb process. It's just something that we hadn't gathered our knowledge enough until now. And so the one that we really like, the only mushroom that we really sell in here, is the reishi mushroom. And I'm telling you, when I say this, it really covers everything. But some of the stuff that I did want to mention to it, like it's seen to help with Alzheimer's. It does help with diabetes. It can help with preventing of cancer and all kinds of other stuff we have on here, along with cold sores. So if you want two that you're just like, man, all of these sound great, but what's two that's going to just kind of help with overall health? And that's going to be burdock and reishi mushroom tincture. The other one that we do have in this category, and it's maybe because I'm just a little bit biased from it, and if you've watched this channel, you know I absolutely love it, but it's the turmeric root tincture. I love turmeric. It has done some wonders for me. Its primary focus is anti-inflammation. So it's going to remove inflammation from your body. That helps with a million things. So if you can keep yourself not inflamed, which we're getting a lot of that from our food does that. The turmeric really helps battle that, and it makes you feel so much better. So it makes your head feel better, it makes your body feel better, it makes your joints feel better. It does so much for you when it's just being anti-inflammation. So turmeric tincture will always be probably my favorite thing that we ever made, just because of the true things that it has done to my body to make me feel better. Get a lot of questions too about I have a bad back, my knees hurt, my elbows hurt, my arms hurt, everything hurts. I had to deal with aches, I deal with pains, I deal with arthritis, and that answer is comfrey salve. So comfrey salve is going to be absolutely fantastic to put on topical for anywhere that hurts you. So anything on your body that has any kind of injury or soreness or stiffness, you're gonna want to put the comfrey salve on you. I love it. You know, it's one of those after working hard days, I'll put it on my shoulders or my back because I deal with a bad back. And it really does relieve all that pain. And just knowing that you're not putting something in your body like a pain medication or something like that, and you can actually solve it with a topical salve, really makes it magical. It's pretty awesome. And what we do with our comfrey salve, we have videos on how to make it, but it's strictly just comfrey, beeswax, and extra virgin olive oil. That's the only three things that you need to make this happen. You just need to make sure that you're infusing your dried comfrey in that oil. We do about 8 weeks. You want to make sure that it's infusing for at least 8 weeks-ish. into that oil before making it into a salve. But that gets all that medicinal properties pulled into the oil, and then that makes your comfrey salve. Next up, let's talk skincare. So skincare, skin is our biggest organ. It's something that we really need to make sure that we're taking care of. And I know it's getting really, really popular. We have a 9-year-old daughter that is informing us on how popular it is getting across the world when it comes to skincare, which is a good thing. I'm all for it. However, skincare products are some of the most chemical-filled products that we can put on our largest organ. So Jen and I, we have created a little bit, and it's something that we're hoping to continue to grow on because it is becoming popular. But calendula salve is going to be great for, one, just moisturizing, giving your skin that nice glow that everybody's looking for. But it also, we call it magic salve because it's good for cuts, scrapes, burns, diaper rash, regular rash for adults, literally any kind of skin irritations, and like I said, including actual minor cuts and burns. It's a great burn relief. One time we were cooking and we were cleaning after we were cooking, and I forgot we had used this one stovetop, and we have a gas range, and the little top black piece comes off, so when you go to clean around it, I put my fingers on it and then clean around it. Well, when I did that, it was one that we used, and all 3 of these fingers, I mean, immediately just white. Like, you know, when you really burnt it, it was bad. I put this calendula salve on my fingers. I didn't feel 1 ounce of pain once that was on there, and I didn't even blister. Like, it like just went away. It was wild. So I always like telling that story because it's true proof on how great it is. But if you are looking for it for just actual skincare, I would do it on your nightly or morning routine. Make sure that you're just applying it in the spots that you need moisturized and that you want that nice glow from. The other thing Jen has made is a lavender face toner. So she spritz this on when she does her skincare, gives a nice aroma, and it does wonder for your face. And because it's lavender, it's actually going to help relax your face too. It's going to help relax your face and your mind and just calm you down. So that one would be a really good one for maybe your nighttime routine, just to kind of get that mood set and get you relaxed. And then this next category is like, I didn't really know what to call it. So these two are kind of just fun. We have a coconut oolong tea and a bourbon barrel tea. So these are just 2 that we really, really enjoy, that we put together, and we wanted to share it. Now, there are going to be some medicinal properties, but it's nothing specific. So this is just true enjoyment. The other one that we have is a digestion situation, but we really only have one primary tincture that we focus on for digestion, and that is peppermint tincture. So you want to take it, I take it before and after. Y'all know what it's like. When you get older, you know there's certain foods that just do not great stuff for you. And this one, I take it before and after if I know it's going to be something rough. For example, we love pasta, but tomatoes aren't great for me. They're not great. There's something that's absolutely fantastic for me to put in my body. I usually pay for it when it comes to heartburn, bloating, different stuff like that. So I make sure to take the peppermint. And then side note, turmeric actually helps me with heartburn too. So keep that in mind. So I guess they could technically fall in the digestion category too. But peppermint's your guy when it comes to bloating, when it comes to heartburn, when it comes to anything like that. If you eat too much, peppermint's going to be the one for you there. And then last but definitely not least is our newest category, weight management, weight loss. And that is chickweed tincture. So chickweed tincture actually works like the shots that people are taking now when it comes to suppressing appetite. So if you didn't know, that's the primary purpose of what those shots are for, is suppressing your appetite. That's why you can see those funny videos and stuff about people like eating one piece of food. Now, chickweed's not going to be that dramatic. It's not going to get you to where you feel so full that you're not putting anything in your body and not getting any nutrients. This is just going to help you from not overeating. It's going to help you feel fuller quicker, and it's going to actually help you burn some calories. So it helps burn fatty cells quicker, so they're not attaching to our bones, and they're flushing themselves on out. So chickweed is fantastic if you want to do something when it comes to weight management or weight loss. Now, we do sell and have quite a few other herbs, but I was like, let me just narrow this down because I knew this video was probably going to be long as it is, and there was going to be a lot of information into it. So if this is something that you enjoyed, I can definitely do a part 2 with the other herbs that we have that we use specifically to help give you that information, because maybe these didn't nail it for exactly your area, but maybe part 2 will. So let me know down in the comments if that's something that you want. Like I said, we just like sharing the information we have. We like just having you connect. You know, valerian root means focus, mind and focus and ADHD. That's information that you we'll always have and we'll always be able to know. So if, say, YouTube went away and all this different stuff went away, you're like, man, what was that nature's toilet paper that was also good for allergy and sinus and respiratory? Mullein leaf, right? That's what we're trying to get to. We're basically trying to give you a audio book of information, that way that you can always know it. Speaking of that, YouTube, social media, different things like that won't always be around, but books will. So if you didn't hear, Jen did write a 70+ page herbal book that is about, I think, 12 or 15 of her favorite herbs. And I'm talking, this thing breaks it down to what it does, how to grow it, how to put it in recipes, what kind of medicinal recipes to do, so cooking, and when it comes to tinctures or salves or poultices. And it is just, it's jam-packed with information. So all of this is on our website, thestivershomestead.com. If you go to tinctures, that's where you find them, teas, and then if you want to find our book, it'll be under ebook. So all you gotta do is shop, all that's categorized out there. Like I said though, this video was 100% not made to be a promotion for our store. That does help that we have these things for sale. I want you to have this knowledge, like I said, so you can know and you can go start doing some more research on your own. You can start figuring out what you need specifically for your household and which one of these might be the perfect thing for you. So that's it. I hope you all enjoyed today. Let me know down in the comments some of the other stuff that you use. So I love turmeric. It's like my favorite, but there's also other anti-inflammatory herbs that you can use as well. It's just the one that we've kind of centered in on. And that's the beautiful thing about herbs. There's so many of them. It was provided all of this stuff for us. It's just depending on the ones that we want to pick up and that we like the most. So let me know what you use down in the comments. I'm sure there's a lot of things that we didn't mention here that you probably have in your house. But y'all, we love you. And I hope you enjoyed today. Let me know. And until the next one, bye.